Let's move on to it's just like a little bit of hot story out of the state of California. Nancy Pelosi's husband charged with DUI. You guys see this, folks? You heard about this one? Nancy
Isn't he
Pelosi's
like
husband.
9,000 years old?
I believe he's 82.
Jesus fucking Christ!
Uh,
What did he get? What did he get drunk on? Like a thimble full of Chardonnay? He's got 3 ounces of blood running through his veins. It's like Mr. Burns.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's husband was arrested and charged with driving under the influence after being involved in a collision Saturday night, law enforcement officials said. Paul Pelosi, 82, was arrested at 11:44 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and charged with driving under the influence with a blood alcohol content of 0.08% or higher, according to the Napa County Criminal Justice Network's public booking report. Both charges are misdemeanors. Pelosi was attempting to cross SR 29 when his 2021 Porsche was hit by a 2014 Jeep traveling northbound on the road, according to a collision report from the California Highway Patrol, which either doesn't identify the driver as being at fault, doesn't identify either driver as being at fault in the crash. Troopers were called to the scene just before 10:30 p.m., the report said. There were no injuries reported in the crash, and the Jeep's driver was not arrested. Well, Paul Pelosi, he was arrested. He was fucked up.
I'm just thinking about my grandpa made it to about 82, and he died because he fell down going to get the mail. I'm just trying to imagine him drunk behind the wheel of a Porsche. What are they giving these fucking people? I mean, I know the joke is adrenochrome, but like there is something, some sort of demonic serum that is keeping these people spry, well beyond when is natural.
I was at a memorial or barbecue on Sunday, and a friend of mine just like, as he was approaching the barbecue, just beelined it to me with the phone up, being like, "Chris, I need to tell you something," and it was this news, and it did indeed put a enormous smile on my face. It's just like the idea that you would be in that position, be the husband, the 82-year-old husband of the Speaker of the House, and be like, "Yeah, no, I'm good to drive. Don't worry about it."
Uber schmoober.
Yeah. Okay, wait a second. The article did say there were no injuries, and that the highway patrol concluded that neither driver was at fault.
Sounds like a victimless
maybe
crime.
Yeah, maybe he's just very good at drunk driving, and he was like,
He might
I
be
know
one
my
of those
limits.
ones where he's better after he's had a few, which is a real thing.
Yeah, he's got
We all need to accept that that's real.
Billy Joel syndrome.
Yeah, people. I'm sorry if you say that there's no such thing, then you're anti-science because we have plenty of data on this.
But again, it's like sort of like at 82 years old, should you be whipping a 2021 Porsche around California's highways?
Yeah, at all.
I don't know. But also, like, if you're Paul Pelosi, just get a driver. You know, like you could get as fucked up as you want, but like, just I don't know, call a car or just like I said, if you're rich enough, just have a guy drive you everywhere.
They're rich enough for that. They could afford a guy who literally drives him one night a week.
That they would look out of touch then.
Oh yeah. Oh right.
He's got to drive his own Porsche to his own house with his own 4 refrigerators filled with Pizzagate ice cream.
Okay, there you go. Here's another thing we could have done with that $52,000. I could have hired the transporter to like make sure I don't kill anyone getting fucked up trying to drive home. That's what I would do with the money. I would hire Jason Statham to drive me places.
He was a little overqualified.
52 grand is probably like that's probably not enough money to hire.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Statham.
That's not enough for like head wax. Probably spends more than that in the year, keeping his dome nice and shiny.
Wonder if you gave him the 50,000, but also said that you were dying of. Well, I guess it would have been PPP time. So let's just say COVID, and it was your dying wish. Your dying wish to be transported just once.
But that would be funny if there's like some 8-year-old kid with progeria who's like, I want Jason Statham to transport me. Like Bat Kid, remember that?
Yes.
And they like hire guys on motorcycles to pretend to chase him and shit. By the way, that Bat Kid is still alive. I think that whole thing was a scam.
It was like
I think that kid's like Tatum O'Neal in the fucking Paper Moon or something, and she's on a grift. Because I'm sorry, you got to be real sick for the entire city to pretend you're Batman. They were like they were faking charts at the very least. to like exaggerate the seriousness because I don't know how the hell that kid's still alive.
They're at like the municipal like county meeting the next week or the next year, and they're like, "Well, we spent so much on the Bat Kid parade that we really can't fix the sewage system this year." And then one of the counselors is like, "Did that kid die?" And they're like, "No, he's still around even after we spent the $100,000 on the Bat Parade."
It'd be funny if they sent him a bill when he hit 16.
Bat Kid, he just lost his virginity. He's applying to college. He's loving it. He's still coasting off that Bat cred.
He gets laid so much off of being Bat Kid.
He's on Tinder, like just like his profile is like, "Hey, I was the Bat Kid, looking for my poison ivy," if you know what I'm talking about. No, if I were like one of those terminally ill kids, I would be like, my wish is to have Jason Statham kill me with a single blow to the chest. Like that's how I want to die. I just want that bald, bullet-headed man to just come into my hospital room and be like, "All right, listen, you cunt. It's all over. It's all over for you.
Say your prayers, mate.
say your prayers, mate." And then just a single like Krav Maga, like knee to the chest or something.
Definitely go to Valhalla if that's
honestly,
how you die.
Yeah. No, I mean, like that's what Krav Maga was designed for, killing children.
I mean, I know what I would have asked. Please, I don't know. I know it's fucked up, but I would like to have sex before I die. I would like to get laid. And I would have been like, "I'm sorry. There's no way that's gonna work." It's like, look, guys, I'm not moving on.
Who's
literally
dying
nothing
here?
else. I don't give a shit about anything else right now. It's the only thought I've ever had for the last 2 years, depending on how old I am, of course, when this is happening.
I'm like, like feeling that. Can I just get some titties in my face? Can I just motorboat them real quick?
Yeah,
I'm dying here. All right.
If it was before puberty, it would be something really lame, like, "I want to meet the Bait Brewers," something like that. Ugh. But if it had been like 12, it's like, nope, get me laid, son. That's all I care about.
Do you think the Make-A-Wish Foundation has a form letter or perhaps a specific counselor they have to deploy to respond to those requests? Because you got to imagine that that's a lot of them.
It's got my son wants just to get squeezed off something. He would like to reenact one of the scenes from Revenge of the Nerds. Just something for him. He's
they're like,
sick.
"Look, we can get you 5 minutes with Chris Hemsworth, but we can't do the titty."
They're like, "Would you like to lift Thor's hammer?" It's like, no, I'm trying to get a hand job.
I'm trying to get off here.
Can Chris Hemsworth suck me off? Jesus Christ. 5 minutes is all I'll need. I mean, I've never busted before. Well, moving on from Pelosi's husband. I gotta say though, did you guys see Trump at the NRA convention this weekend? Because he was in rare form.
Just listed off those names.
He was
doing a stellar job pronouncing them.
I mean, I know I'm one to talk about pronouncing people's names, but most of the names that I butcher on this show weren't the child victims of a mass shooting.
Yeah.
Maybe Chris just drop a little of that audio in there. It was totally fucking surreal because he's at the NRA convention, and so he's giving his big address there. The crowd's loving it. And he does the thing where he reads off the names of all of the victims of this latest mass shooting in Texas, and they ring a bell after each name.
Rogelio Torres, Tess Marie Mata.
That was surreal enough, but the best part by far is that in a televised address, where, like I said, he memorializes the names of recently slaughtered children. He exits the stage, hyping up the crowd, doing his Macho Man dance. And by the Macho Man dance, I mean the jacking off two guys at once dance. You guys know what I'm talking about.
He loves it. He can't stop. He gets the people going.
He's just sucking them off. He's jacking them off. It's just the guys. I'll take anyone who comes. I'll take them all on. Oh, and then the other thing from the weekend that I really like. This is. Did you see the Lauren Boebert thing? Where she was at a Trump rally in Wyoming, addressing the crowd. And we can drop this audio in here, but this quote by Boebert is just so good.
I want to tell you a story about his generosity, about how kind he is, about how welcoming he is. And even not liking germs, President Trump shared a bowl of popcorn with my 14-year-old son. Now listen, Wyoming. know where he's been. I don't share food with my son.
I don't even share food with my son.
He's disgusting.
Okay, so like there's multiple levels to how much I like this quote here. The first being the one example of Trump's kindness and generosity that she said, like, the media, the fake news media in the back, all the people with cameras. The one example that she can come up with of how extraordinarily kind and generous he is sharing some popcorn with a 14-year-old boy. She'd be like, "You got a bag of popcorn here? You want some? Okay."
I like to I'm imagining that it's it's just the very end of it where it's all the unpopped kernels left in the bottom, and he's just like, yeah, I'm done with this. Here, you have it.
Just shake out a few, just some salt and some corn kernels into your mouth.
Yes.
Yeah. But don't give it back to me. I'm too afraid of your germs. And yeah, Lauren Boebert said, she's like, in the full quote, she's like, I know where my son's been. I don't want him touching my food. Okay, and like this is the second incredible like layer to this amazing onion here. Lauren Boebert is the person famous for making 80 people sick with bloody diarrhea thanks to her poisoned pork sliders at her like Shooter's Bar and Grill.
Shooter's Bar and Grill, where all of it
Bang,
is
bang.
named after a gun. No, it's the kind of place that John Taffer would walk into and go, "You're making people sick."
Literally, yeah.
Like you get the horrified shots of the fly covered fryers and shit.
The grease trap that hasn't been emptied since the Reagan administration.
Yeah, that's for you pigs. My precious mouth would never.
Maybe she just subscribes to that the like libertarian ideal of child raising, whereas like as long as the door is left unlocked and there's like food around, you don't have to actually provide anything for your children.
Yeah,
since they're like free to walk away at any moment.
It's like it's your son. Like it came out of your body, and you're just like, I don't want him touching my food. It's like, isn't this sort of like feeding your child is
like
sort
one
of
of the
expected,
main biological and psychological imperatives of being a parent.
Yeah.
The kind of thing where most parents would say that they would give your last ounce of food to your child even if you were starving.
Look,
No matter how grubby their little hands are.
You guys don't understand middle American folkways, okay? This is heartland values. Your grubby little kids are disgusting and you shouldn't touch them. That's how we live. That's how we live out in real America.
Well, related to this issue, is it gross to feed children? This is an interesting bit of sociological data that, was also fascinated me this weekend.